Well, the government's performance ratings have hit a low in the latest Ipsos Issues Monitor survey. Now, its rating of the government was 3.9 out of 10. That's the lowest since the survey began, with Labour now judged the party most capable of managing the economy and the health sector and the cost of living crisis. Well, joining us for our political panel this week is National's Nicola Willis, and in for Carmel Sepuloni, Labour's Tangi Utikere. Kia ora and welcome to you both.
Kia ora, good to be on the show.
If I come to you first, Nicola Willis, that rating's not very good for your government. National prides itself on being able to manage the economy. Why have Kiwis lost faith in your leadership?
Well, look, it's no secret that it's been a challenging year for the economy, and the government is with every New Zealander who wants to see more jobs created, growth happening faster. And we've been doing all of the things to rebuild the foundations to allow that. And I expect that this time, a year or so from now, you will be seeing that growth coming through the economy. You will be seeing jobs recovering. You'll be seeing New Zealanders feel a lot better and seeing the results of the government's decision making. And the alternative is Labour. And really all they've come up with so far is more taxes, and I don't really think that's a prescription New Zealanders will choose.
Tangi, there is an element of incumbent governments around the world suffering. That a lot of these problems, which Labour encountered when it was last in government here too, are deep-seated cost of living issues related to the post-COVID hangover. Does the government get a pass on that?
No, it doesn't. I mean, this latest report indicates a real indictment on the way in which this government is treating New Zealanders. I'm not surprised that Kiwis are not trusting National because they're not delivering on the issues that really matter. The economy is shrinking, jobs are being cut, people are losing their jobs. This is hard for households, and what people expect from a government that has been in office now for more than 2 years is action in this space, and they are simply not delivering. This is Christopher Luxon and his team out of touch, weak, not doing what's needed.
Let me ask you both a quick question that's come up this morning with the issue of on health. And this is the petition, Malcolm Holland's petition, 90,000 people. He's suggesting a tax increase, basically, which would be ring-fenced. Let me start with you, Nicola. Do you support that idea?
No, look, I want to be clear. We're investing record amounts in the health system as a proportion of overall economic activity. In fact, we're investing the most that's been invested. We've hired more than 2,000 more nurses. We've hired hundreds more doctors. Those are the critical things for ensuring you can reduce wait lists and get people care faster. That's why we've set targets so that we can ensure those waiting lists reduce quicker. And we are making progress. So I don't accept that what's needed is another tax.
Okay. Tangi, I mean, you have linked a doctor's visits to your capital gains tax proposal. So put that to one side. Would you consider raising income taxes, ring-fencing some of that to increase spending on the health sector?
Well, let's be very clear around focusing what the issue is right now. Health is in crisis, and Malcolm and his team have really indicated that all around the country. Those of us who have been to his events know that. What we have done is we have said that we will do exactly that. We will introduce a tax for that purpose. So that's
put that to one side. We've heard that, but I'm asking about a general increase in tax, the idea of increasing tax to put a lot more into health, not just the 3 doctors' visits.
Well, the focus at the moment is on making sure that people get access to healthcare in their community when they need it. And part of our approach to a very narrow CGT, targeted for 3 visits to the doctor every year for everyone, alongside free cervical screening test, is a huge step in that direction. So this is something that we are really quite keen on. And I just think about...
I've got to move on, but I just wanted... would you rule out that? Is it something you're looking at? Income tax increases?
Oh, look, our policy will come out as we know. I mean, we've started to roll out that policy, and the focus right now is ensuring that Kiwis know that under the current government, they cannot get access to health services in their local community.
That is interesting, though, Corin. He did say that's something that we're really quite keen on with regard to
not say
lift
that.
in general taxation.
I did not. Nicola, this is the same as last week. You like to peddle misinformation. That is not the case. I did not say that. What I'm saying is that the government at the moment is not focused on addressing health needs. And I'm not surprised. I mean, the health minister at the moment that Christopher Luxon has put in is the person that is not interested in local
You've had a chance to respond to that. Let's move on to another issue, and that is food prices. Now, the issue around supermarket competition. You've got the fast-track legislation, which will help address some of that. In reality, can any New Zealand government ever really do anything about food prices, Nicola Willis?
Well, of course, international factors are always going to be the most significant, and we've seen a big spike internationally in food prices, and we can't stop that. But what we can do is ensure that we've got a competitive supermarket sector, and what we can do is ensure that producers at home don't face so much red tape that it adds to the cost of producing veggies and the like here. Actually, in the last 2 months, you've seen reductions in overall food prices. I know that when people are at the supermarket checkout, it still feels expensive. We were really pleased to see Costco have said they're going to open another one of their warehouses in South Auckland. They'll have the opportunity to use this fast-track legislation so that they can get up and running quicker, because when people can shop around for a bargain, everyone pulls their...
But will there ever be this mythical third player really... you've got to break them up, don't you? That's the only thing you can do.
Our government's been making sure that the barriers that have stood in the way from a third player being able to set up are removed. And you are going to see additional supermarkets opening, and I want to see as many as possible. My goal is that Foodstuffs and Woolworths, the big incumbent duopolists, are put in a situation where they actually have to price fairer and deliver a better offering because they've got other people yapping at their heels.
Okay, would Labor go further than that? I mean, is there realistically anything that could be done other than breaking up the supermarkets, speeding up the consenting, this sort of thing? I mean, what else could you actually do?
Well, we did do some work in terms of a grocery commissioner giving the Commerce Commission tools to make it much more competitive. The government has basically sat on its hands for the last 2 years and done nothing.
On.
Now,
you opposed our fast-track
Nicola talks
legislation.
about the fact that people feel as though it's expensive at the supermarket when they go to the checkout. Newsflash, it is expensive because the cost of food is going up.
But the counter to that, Tangi, is that the measures that you put in, really, they were tinkering, bringing in a commissioner and this sort of thing. I mean, again, the argument is, would you as a Labour government be prepared to take the bold move and break up this duopoly?
Well, I don't accept that it was tinkering. Those were steps that were taken that were really an opportunity for the government to pick up that work and carry it forward. They've chosen not to. And Nicola might talk about Costco. Well, there's nothing in the current government's plans that have basically made that speed up. I mean, that was on the plans for quite some time in Drury. There's no magic bullet there that the government have delivered in that space.
Tangi, I'd just say you oppose the fast-track legislation, and in terms of the reforms your government did, if they were so successful, then people would be having a better deal at the checkout now, wouldn't they? I mean, all we've done is pick up what your reforms were and build on them at pace. So
no, there is no pace in that. You know that we don't support the fast-track legislation. If this was just
not?
about supermarkets,
can you articulate why not?
It's
still not clear to me why you don't support it.
Well, let's get to the fast-track legislation, and I wanted to pick up on this because the Greens have said that they would or wouldn't allow or revoke consents issued under that fast-track legislation for specific mining projects. Is Labor on board with that idea?
Well, look, the Greens are sorting their own policy, and that's a matter for the Greens. We're focused on our team and what we offer for Kiwis.
In principle, though, do you like this idea that someone could have it revoked? Is there a risk of a chilling effect that it might lead to sovereign risk?
Well, we've been very clear that, an incoming Labor government would look at those sort of issues on a case-by-case basis rather than a blanket opportunity.
And that
We've
is
been
so
quite
chilling.
clear around that. But for now, our focus is on our policy. The Greens, that's over to the Liberties.
Nicola.
So what he has just said is they will look on a case-by-case basis as to whether or not they will uphold consents issued under law. And the message that sends is so chilling to those who would otherwise invest in Kiwi jobs and manufacturing, industry, mining. It's very chilling. It's a form of economic vandalism. It's the kind of thing Venezuela-type countries do. Rip up consents, rip up legal frameworks.
I spoke to Chloe Swarbrick this morning, Nicola Willis, and she argued, you ripped up the contract for the IREX ferries and that there was a sovereign risk there.
I completely reject that. What we did was we honoured that contract by paying the fees that were due under that contract. What she's proposing to do, and what Tangi said he's open to doing, is taking a consent issued under law, ripping it up and saying that mine that you've invested millions, if not hundreds of millions of dollars in, is now illegal. No. That is third world behaviour. It's reckless that Labor are even keeping the door open to it. It would be a huge step backwards for New Zealand and sends a message to the world, don't take us seriously. We are actually the kind of country that doesn't uphold
respond
rule
to
of law.
that?
Well, I do. I mean, this is just rhetoric from Nicola. It really is. This dramatic approach around what we've outlined is very consistent in terms of what Nicola is saying. That view is consistent with our position that we've taken. We want to talk about the ferries. I mean, Nicola Willis, the person here, is the person that cancelled those ferries by text message.
I
by
did
text
not.
message.
Tangi, that
You
is
know,
completely
that is the
inaccurate. I'm
way
not
in
going to
which
let
this
that stand.
government
That is
tends to
absolutely
focus around
incorrect.
its approach.
You
And
can't
it's
say
something
things
that
like
is
that
gonna
on the
cost
radio that are
lots and lots of
untrue.
people.
Well, he's just said something that is completely untrue. The negotiation with the ferries occurred with officials face to face. What he is referring to is me checking by text message whether in fact MFAT had engaged, and they did not do that by text message. So I find that sort of allegation, frankly, beneath your Tangi. Let's be reasonable here. Let's tell the truth.
I think that the truth is, Nicola, that people were expecting ferries. They've had to wait way longer, and it's going to cost them, more than what was anticipated. That's the reality, and it's rather unfortunate.
Very quick comment to finish on this issue concerning Chris Bishop and the Lower Hutt Bridge, which has had money diverted from a wastewater scheme. Firstly, to you, Tangi, how would you describe this manoeuvre?
This is terrible. There are lots of questions to be asked. Now, what this is Chris Bishop, who is the housing minister, basically taking money from that pot, putting it as transport minister into a local project in his own community that he advocated for. At the same time,
is
the
it a good
government
project, though?
cut that off. Oh, look, we accept it's a good project. But the important thing here is that we have a minister who is basically taking money from one pot and putting it into something else where other communities around the country don't have that.
Nicola Willis,
opportunity.
the optics aren't good. Shouldn't he have stood aside? He says, but he signed it with you. But really, it's his electorate. To be, he'll face accusations of pork barrel politics here. He
Cabinet
needed
Office
to
are
step
very
aside.
comfortable that all of the requirements have been met here, and pretty simple. The council said, let's get this Melling project that Labor talked about actually underway. Let's do a swap here. Instead of building this thing over here, let's build this bridge. That'll allow it to happen. Kāinga Ora recommended to me that should proceed. I signed.
But there's
it
a
off.
cabinet manual, right, that suggests
And
these
he's
types of
upheld it,
deals.
Warren. And so this is where I think there's more heat than noise. When the Cabinet Office say we're very comfortable that rules have been applied, and then you have Labor asking multiple questions in Parliament about it, actually there's not an issue because the conflict's been appropriately managed. At the end of the day, what's happening is the people of the Hutt who waited years and years to get that Melling interchange are getting it. It's going to enable housing. It's going to enable flood protection. It's going to allow traffic to move faster. And who's doing it? A national government, Chris Bishop, the local MP.
Okay, quick
Labour
final
a bit
comment
jealous.
to you on that.
Look, no, there's more to this than meets the eye. This does not pass the sniff test, and there's more to come, I'm sure.
Okay, thank you very much, both of you. That was Labour's Tangi Utikere in for Carmel Sepuloni this morning, and National's Nicola Willis. Thank you very much. Appreciate your time.